After next year, I'm out of it.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
Why you retiring?
What trash?
What changed? What made you?
This shit is trash, garbage.
If you got the
What's
change, what made you?
This shit is trash, garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
I'm out of it.
Gervonta Tank Davis just dropped a bombshell. He's done, retiring, walking away from boxing at just 30 years old. But hold on, this doesn't make sense. Fighters don't retire when they're at their peak. Champions don't just leave millions of dollars on the table without a good reason. And when a fighter says they're retiring, we've learned to take that with a grain of salt. So what's really going on here? Is Davis walking away for his mental health? Or is he running from something bigger? Is he trying to dodge dangerous fights against top contenders? Or is he genuinely done with the sport? And here's the biggest question of them all. Will he regret this decision for the rest of his life? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know the truth behind Tank's shocking retirement, and why this might not be the end of his story. The announcement that shook boxing. It happened at a press conference. Davis was preparing for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach when he casually dropped a bomb. Next year, I'm out of it. At first, people weren't sure if they heard him right. But then, he repeated himself. After 2025, I'm done. The room went dead silent. His opponent Roach was caught off guard. Even reporters weren't sure how to react. And then Davis said something that made the whole situation even stranger. I don't want to box anymore. I want therapy. Wait, therapy? A world champion at the peak of his career, talking about therapy and leaving the sport behind. That's not something you hear every day. So naturally, the boxing world went crazy. Why now? What's really going on? And most importantly, does he mean it? Because let's be real. How many times have we seen fighters retire only to come back? Does Tank even love boxing? Here's something a lot of people have suspected for years. Does Gervonta Davis even love boxing? There are fighters who live for the sport. Fighters like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Terrence Crawford, who want to be remembered as the best to ever do it. But Davis has always treated boxing like a job. He's said in past interviews, I ain't trying to be in this too much longer. Once I get them guys out of there, I'm gone. That's not the mindset of a fighter chasing legacy. That's the mindset of someone counting the days until he can cash out and leave. And some analysts believe that's exactly what's happening. One boxing insider put it bluntly, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you love it. And that raises a major question. Is Davis retiring because he never really loved the sport in the first place? Or is there another reason? The fights he refused. Did Davis duck the biggest challenges? Here's where things start getting really controversial. Gervonta Davis is retiring without facing his biggest rivals. Boxing fans have been begging for fights against Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko. But instead of those fights, Tank's final opponent is Lamont Roach. No disrespect to Roach, but let's be honest. That's not the fight boxing fans wanted. And critics wasted no time calling Davis out. Conor Benn flat out said Davis is ducking real competition. He could have fought Shakur. He could have fought Devin Haney, but instead, he picks Lamont Roach and calls it a career. Come on, man. Eddie Hearn wasn't buying it either, questioning whether Davis is actually retiring or just avoiding a fight that could damage his legacy. And then there's Shakur Stevenson, who had the most brutal response of all. If he wants to retire, fine. But I think it's soft. So, was this Tank's plan all along? To leave before his toughest fights could happen? Or is there more to this story? Of course, there's another side to this. Davis didn't just talk about retirement. He talked about therapy. For years, Davis has had issues outside the ring. Legal troubles, mental health struggles, pressure from fame. And now, for the first time, he's admitting that boxing is taking a toll on him. He even hinted that he doesn't want to be known for his anger anymore, saying, I have 2 daughters. I want to be softer. I want to be more humble. That's a completely different Davis than the one we've seen in the past. The knockout artist, the trash talker, the guy who lives for the spotlight. Could it be that Tank Davis doesn't just want to retire? He needs to? The reactions to Davis's announcement have been all over the place. Shakur Stevenson thinks Davis is running from the competition. Devin Haney says there's too much money left on the table. Davis will be back. 50 Cent doesn't believe it at all, saying, it's not time to retire. He's got too much left to prove. Some people respect his decision. Others think it's a cover-up. But one thing's for sure. If Davis walks away now, his legacy is incomplete. Right now, Davis claims that 2025 will be his last year in the sport. But will he really stay retired? Plenty of fighters have retired only to come back when the money was right. And with unfinished business against Stevenson and Haney, the pressure will only grow. So here's the real question. Is this a smart move, prioritizing mental health over boxing? Or is this a mistake, one that will haunt him when he realizes he walked away too soon? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Tank Davis really done? Or will we see him back in the ring sooner than we think? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more shocking sports stories. And don't forget to turn on notifications, because there's a lot more to this story than what meets the eye.